I want to tell you something about dying. Not really dying, but that feeling, that moment when everything tells you it's over, you failed, there's no point in going back. In Elden Ring, you die a lot, and every time you die, the game doesn't ask you if you're okay, it doesn't comfort you, it just puts you back at the last touch of grace and waits. And somehow you get up, you go back, you try again. I've been thinking about why that is. When I was in fifth grade, I had a teacher I really cared about. I studied hard for every exam because of her. Not, not because I had to, because I wanted her to be proud. Then one day, my grade come back. It was bad. It was totally bad. And she called me out in front everyone, asked me why my score was so low. I went home that day and I didn't want to go back. I felt like I had failed the one person I was trying for. Like all that effort meant nothing. But I went back. I don't even know why I just did it, but I just did. And when I walked into that classroom, she told me the grades has been mixed up. My real score was exactly what it should be have been. And yeah, everything I thought was wrong, it wasn't. And I remember that feeling, that quiet feeling of, in the end, things became what they were supposed to be. That's what dying in a Soulsborne game taught me. Not that you won't fail, you will. You will, of course, over and over. But here's what nobody tells you about failure. Failure is allowed. It's very loud and announces itself. It sits with you at dinner. It follows you to the bed. It's there when you wake up. But the comeback is quiet. It doesn't come with a speech or dramatic moment. It comes at it as a small decision, a quiet one. Just something like, I'll try again. That's it. That's the whole thing. In Elden Ring, there's no cutscene when you finally beat a boss that killed you for a time. The game just move on. Like it knew you were going to make it. And maybe that's the most honest thing. And yeah, that's the most honest thing any game has ever taught me. I think about that fifth grade moment a lot because the version of me that went home that day, that kid, had every reason to give up, to decide it wasn't worth it, that trying hard didn't matter. But he went back, and that quiet decision to just show up again changed everything. You don't need to be ready. You don't need to feel strong. You don't need to know it's going to work out. You just need to go back to the fog gate one more time. Because here's what I learned from games, from life, from every moment I thought was the end. The story doesn't end at the death screen. It's never. It's never on at that death screen. It ends when you stop pressing continue. It ends when you stop pressing continue. And as long as you are still here, still pressing that button, you haven't lost. Not yet. Not ever. That's it. And I want to share another memory here with you. I don't even know how old I was. Young enough that a pair of skates felt like the most important thing in the world. I was sitting by the window, watching the kids in the street. They had the skates. They were laughing, falling, getting back up, laughing again. I just watched that specific kind of pain, watching other people have something you want. It's quiet, but it's heavy. You don't cry. You just sit there and feel distance between you and them. So I went to my dad. I asked him for a skate. He said no, like immediate no. And I didn't even let him finish. The moment that word left his mouth, I turned around and ran to to my room, closed the door, didn't want to hear the rest. I spent the whole day in that room, angry, sad, convinced that I was somehow less than those kids outside, that they had something I would never have. That feeling of why do they get to have things I can't? It's a small thought, but small thoughts have a way of growing in quiet rooms. The next day, my dad walked in. He had a bicycle, a big one, with the bell I always wanted. And in that moment, everything shifted. Not just because I got something, but because I realized something. My dad hadn't said no to me, he had said no to the skates. There's a difference. And I was too busy reacting to hear it. And I think about that a lot now. How many times have I slammed the door on something? Not because it was actually over, but because I couldn't wait long enough to see what come next. In eldenring, there's a moment every player knows. You find a boss, you go inside, you try, you die, and the instinct, the immediate gut level instinct is to quiet, to quit. It's quiet and it's quit, to close the game, to decide it's not worth it. But players who beat the game aren't the ones with the most skill. They're the ones who stayed in the room, who didn't run, who waited long enough to see what come next. My dad taught me that before any game ever did. Sometimes the answer isn't no. Sometimes it's not this. Maybe something better. And the only way to find out which one it is not to slam the door, to stay, to wait. Because sometimes the thing that coming is better than the thing you asked for. You just have to give it a day. You just have to stay in the room one more night and see what walks through the door in the morning. That's it. That's why you should always keep going, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Anyway.